Hey, welcome to The Real Authority. I'm going to try to keep my review of Tuner simple since the movie in essence is for the most part simple, and also I'm not a night owl and it's close to 8 o'clock, so might as well get to it. Also, I just saw it in an early access Dolby showing and I want to get my word out before, the movie actually releases. It's nice talking about a movie early sometimes, so why don't I do that? Leo Woodall plays Nicky, this piano tuner who's basically found his niche in doing that sort of job, and he suffers from a condition which causes his eardrums to basically be threatened by normal environmental sounds. For example, one might hear a bell and just not really be fazed by it. To him, it is literally the line between hearing aid and deafness. And once his tuner partner, not father, played by Dustin Hoffman, is hospitalized, and they need to pay for the hospital bills, Nicky finds the only way to actually get this money is through safe unlocking for this group of people who are not exactly good people, and now Nicky has to traverse through this dangerous situation in order to get the money. Maybe it was this bobblehead which caused me to go see it early, but I mean, hey, why not? Wide release isn't for like 2 weeks, but might as well. Plus, also, I wasn't expecting this to be in Dolby. TMI, but Black Bear is a new distributor who distributed this film, and this is like their first major release, especially with a toy and also in Dolby. Back on topic, I heard great things about this movie, but I didn't exactly, actively look forward to it. Compare this to Obsession, my literal previous review, in which the review embargo already lifted and it was a festival favorite, which lived up to the hype, but I was also actively excited for. It's usually not until the Oscar season in which festival favorites kind of grow in popularity. Like, the only real festival favorite outside of Tuner that I can think of, well, actually there's a few. Caroline, Her Private Hell. Yeah. And again, I'm sweating. It's late, but I just got back from it, and I had reason to believe it would be, a very entertaining movie, and it was. But as much as I tried, I can't justify saying, like, it's one of the best movies of the year, because it really does have some issues that hold it back, or at least one, but I'll get into the positives first before getting into that. First of all, Leo Woodall as Nicky. I don't know if I've seen him in any movie beforehand. I probably did, but I feel like this movie really just showed his talents, especially considering the fact that his character is very complex, especially with the condition that prevents him from hearing loud things and actually being okay with it. And that asterisk just makes it so that Nicky is a much more sympathetic character, but also you understand his dilemma with this entire situation, because it's not just him dealing with the fact that he can't exactly hear loud things. He's also trying to find the money to pay for his father's hospital bills, while also realizing that the avenue he's getting the money through is not exactly great, but also a relationship that blossoms. I guess I'll get to that in a minute, but I really do feel Woodall is the thing that's making this movie very special. This is definitely a showcase of Woodall's talents, and it makes me interested to see what he does next. He's just so energetic and entertaining and sympathetic, but also grounded in reality, but also soft-spoken in all the right ways, enough so that you absolutely do feel invested and empathetic toward his character. Havana Rose Liu as Ruthie, the love interest, I also did feel was a charming addition, plus this movie really does try to divide or find the perfect balance between this relationship, but also the main catalyst and the main storyline. And I do feel for the most part the relationship was fleshed out in such an energetic and entertaining way. Maybe one or two scenes kind of, ruins the flow of the movie. Well, actually, over exaggeration. It doesn't really ruin it. It kind of just annoyed me. I'm not going to go into too much detail because, again, I want this to be simple. But I do feel Liu and Woodall have such good chemistry, and their relationship is definitely engaging to the point where you want to see this end in a pretty effective and happy way, I guess. Night owl. I am sweating. TMI. Daniel Rohr's direction and screenplay alongside Robert Ramsey, I do feel was effective in getting this situation going, but also developing it in a pretty meaningful manner. Both are slick in terms of style and direction, but also just in terms of mostly keeping a grounded and stable structure, one that really doesn't rely on taking shortcuts, I guess. Even though this movie in a lot of places is simple, I do feel the direction and screenplay add a lot of nuance and just surprise moments that it ultimately works. Add to that, the cinematography from Lowell A. Meyer is actually really solid in terms of getting you hooked, as well as increasing the suspenseful moments when they need to be, alongside Will Bates' score. And just the sound design in general, especially with Dolby, it just makes it so that when you're put into like the perspective of Nicky, especially with the loud noises, you feel it. And I do feel this movie really did a great job at putting you in the shoes of Nikki for these moments. And you know what? That's absolutely what this movie excels at. But it's not perfect. Maybe I had a bit too much high expectations. Well, not high, because this is not like an obsession where I was like, yeah, this movie is going to be peak. Our Mandalorian and Grogu, which is coming out next week, still binging it. And which I'm like, yeah, I'm interested. I hope it's good. Hope. But I really wasn't expecting the first half to not be as engaging as, say, the second half, because I really do feel there's a big contrast here, and I do feel like the setup, while good, it's not exactly the most engaging thing, at least for me. To do a comparison, Mission Impossible: The Final Reckoning, I have a review on IMDb for it, but I really do feel the main issue with it is, like, the first half was fine, but not exactly great in terms of pacing before the second half just usurps it and just gets you back on the ride. I do feel with the first half, I wasn't exactly engaged enough in this story. Not to say it was bad, it was definitely well written, well executed, but I really do feel a lot of moments could have been cut or shortened down in order to really just set up this situation in a much more effective way. I don't know, it just didn't really have that oomph to it at the beginning before the second half did get significantly better. Again, the first half is not bad, but the second half is where it's at. It ramps up the intensity to such an extent that I can almost overlook and forgive the first half, but I really do feel in terms of a consistent tone as well as a consistent pace, the first half really needed to be much more stable and stronger in order for the second half to really hit as much as it wanted to. But again, the first half, I have no real issues with it outside of the fact that it was just a bit boring to me. Mileage may vary, but I guess that's really the only thing that's holding Tuner back. Otherwise, this is a wildly entertaining movie that, yes, the second half is better, but I did thoroughly enjoy it. And you're definitely going to see Leo Woodall in other performances down the line, and you know what? I'm interested. Pacing issues aside, I can't deny what it excels at, so The Real Authority approves 9 out of 10. Make sure you leave a like, subscribe to the channel, to our post notifications, and comment your thoughts on the movie, and let me know what festival favorites you're looking forward to when they inevitably get a wide release. I mean, the Cannes Film Festival is coming on, and Her Private Hell is premiering tomorrow. I don't know, Sophie Thatcher is a good actress. I skipped her episodes in Book of Boba Fett aside from the final two because Mandalorian. Whatever, I'm gonna end it with this. Peace.